Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well. In this workout I had moderate squats, heavy bench, and some light pulling. My squats ended up being a top set of 3 at 375, I believe it was, and then I did some drop sets. So I was going up by increments of 20 pounds, went from 305 to 335, 355, 375, and then went down to 355, 335, and then I think that was my last set. Pretty sure. Squats went really well. Definitely thinking of that hip cue of locking out my glutes at the very top has been very helpful and has made my squats feel really good. Just general soreness to kind of deal with now, and not really that sort of instability, which was always kind of weird to feel, and I didn't like it at all. So it's nice that it's mostly gone. I mean, I still gotta get my hips stronger, but it's not something that's an issue as far as the stability or pain or whatever with that, thankfully. Same thing was true with deadlifts, and this is the first time I did deadlifts since that kind of cue came through to me, which is really awesome. I worked up to 445, I believe it was for 4 reps. I'm going to be doing all my pulling weightlifting shoes. I think I mentioned that in the last video.
Alright guys, Jim's going to do a few squats here.
Very lightweight, mediocre form.
Attention to
Squats with no quads.
Back.
All back.
Nice
all
and
posterior
controlled
chain.
walkout. No mono lift here.
Quads entirely. Just squeeze everything but the quads.
Now he's going to bend down. Everything hurts, and he's going to push up. Ready to watch it?
You can. Zero control, zero tightness.
Bends down. Explode the knees into a lock position. And then jerk the back back. Beautiful squat.
Last video, just to reiterate that I don't plan on doing anything in flats as far as, well, I guess any of the movements, just so I can have the specifics for weightlifting done over and over and not be trying to transition back and forth. Still will be wearing this lever belt, which I think is a little bit helpful. I definitely feel a little bit of a difference. I just feel tighter and able to push out with my stomach a little bit, or able to get it a bit tighter, and I think that helps with squats particularly, and also with deadlifts a little bit. But with this one, the heavy bench ended up being a top single at 315 pounds, and then I did a couple of drop sets. I believe one was at 275, and then I did some close grip drop sets, and just tried to get a lot of bench work in. I feel like kind of achy with the bench as far as my biceps and kind of elbows, but kind of the insertion of the lower part of the bicep where it inserts into the forearm is a bit kind of achy, but the 315 moved all right. You'll see that I tried to do it for 2, but it wasn't really a serious attempt to do it for 2. I mostly just wanted the extra work of doing another negative, and it wasn't like a true slow negative, but just kind of trying another rep, and you know, who knows if it was gonna go up or not. And I basically told Wasim that to be prepared for that second rep. I pretty much knew it wasn't gonna go up, and I didn't really try to push it up because it would have just moved 2 inches and went right back down. Definitely was burnt out by that point, but definitely got a lot of good bench work in. Before I did the deadlifts, where I went up to 445, and I think I did a drop set of some sort at 405, I did some cleans. Tried to do like a max of power cleans, so once I did a regular clean, then I stopped. That was at 270, where I randomly failed a rep. It kind of slipped down my shirt, and it moved slightly, and so it just fell out of my hands when I was at the bottom. Then I did that again, so that was a clean. With 255 I was able to do a power with that, but then I did some clean pulls with that 270, I believe it was 3 sets of 5, and then I went up to do the deadlift work after that. And that was really the notable parts of this workout. It was a pretty straightforward thing. At the next day, and I made a separate video to talk about this, but the next day I did a bunch of snatch work, and I did some no contact snatches, which went horribly as far as the carryover to my regular snatch, and spent the rest of the time being annoyed with myself that I was stupid enough to not do the movement correctly and mess up my regular snatch. I basically had to relearn it really quick. It came back thankfully, but I was really perturbed at myself, and I don't really want to look at the clips from that day. I just want to, I mean, I just don't want to see the form of it. It's not so much anything radically like I failed. I actually, you know, went up decently on the no contact snatches. They just weren't very good with form, and it messed up my regular snatches. So it's just a bunch of reps of me doing 95 pounds, and thankfully I didn't overdo it with the weight. I just did lots of reps until the exercise felt like it was back. And I did a couple today and it felt really good. And I wasn't even planning on doing any lifting today. I just went in to do a little tiny bit of arms, a little bit of cardio, and some mobility, and everything's moving well. So I think the snatches are back to normal. It's just a bad day and an exercise I really need to focus in to allow myself to get the most benefit from, and it kind of just shows the limits of my mechanical efficiency and how it's something I need to improve at. If I'm going to be good at the movements, obviously I need to be able to do the variations, and something like a no contact snatch is supposed to work with the bar path, and I wasn't keeping it close to my body at all, so I wasn't contacting my body, but also was just swinging it way out and just wasn't doing it properly. So I don't know if it'll be something that I will continue to do. I think I get more benefit out of something like a no foot snatch or a no foot clean. I felt like the no contact cleans went well, but I think if I'm not going to do one, there's not much point in doing the other. I don't really have too many issues with cleans anyway, but doing like the no foot with both kind of really works on my extension of my legs, which is something I'm trying to get better at continually. Something that I figured out too is kind of the squeezing of the glutes when you get to the very top, whether it be a squat or a deadlift. That kind of hip extension that is caused by the glute squeezing is something I need to try to do a bit more with the weightlifting movements, and it's something that if I'm able to do to any extent, it probably means I'm extending better than if I can't, if I'm going early, because then that means that hip extension's coming after the bar is moving up, and kind of want that to cue the movement of the bar up, if that makes any sense. I basically just, I don't know, there's different things I'm thinking about with the movements. I also want to work on keeping my lats tighter, particularly with snatches. It comes very naturally to do it with cleans because it's the same kind of setup as I would do with a deadlift, and I've been working on squeezing my lats down and flattening those out for a while now with all the pulling motions. It's with a snatch, because it grips wider, the feel of the scapula's locking down is a little bit different, so I need to get used to that and improve at that. And I think doing things like snatch pulls and snatch deadlifts and things like that will be very good for me to really feel that movement and to feel the tightness in my back and try to make that all work a bit better. But other than that, it was a really productive day on this one, and my next day is going to be tomorrow. That's in Florida, so that will be very exciting, although I am recording this on Sunday, and I will try to post this either tonight, which based on the editing that I still have to do will probably end up being tomorrow, and then I'll probably double up the upload or post the other video I recorded today on Tuesday. It's just like a little quick video of me saying why I didn't, the same stuff I kind of said in here, why I didn't record. But anywho, I'm going to wrap up this overview, or this talk, commentary, whatever you want to call it, here, and get on to editing this good old video, since I still have to edit all the clips down. But with that being said, I hope you have a good New Year's, or had a good New Year's, and have some good goals ready for next year. I know I have some. It's mostly just to keep being consistent and try to get a bit stronger, a bit better in all facets of my life. Nothing really too radical, because thankfully I have my life mostly together, and just trying to smooth out the rough edges that I see, or at least I perceive in my life. So I'll talk to you all later. Have a great one. Peace.